Forget about the month. Forget about the year. Focus on the 24 hours in front of you right now and do everything you possibly can to get you closer to where you want to be.
Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's tuition. Every person that you admire has failed more times than anyone has ever even tried. You need to remember that failure is the cost of mastery. It's all about how you perceive it. Losers see failure as proof that they can't win. However, winners see failure as proof that they are learning. And that is what I mean by you need to change your perspective. Think of failure as the fee that you need to pay in order for growth. So never try to avoid it.
Like everyone else, you want to learn the way to win, but never to accept the way to lose. To accept defeat, to learn to die is to be liberated from it. So when tomorrow comes, you must free your ambitious mind and learn the art of dying.
So here's the thing about becoming the better version of yourself. In order to become the better version of yourself, you really have to kill off your original version. Because if it lingers around, it's going to find you again. And that's the thing people don't understand. They're like, I'm looking for the better version of myself. But in order to have the better version of yourself, you have to have a funeral for your old version.
Greatness is built in silence. The lonely training sessions, the early cold mornings, the dark and late nights, not for applause, not for praise, but to prove you're willing to suffer, to prove you're ready to sacrifice, to prove you're worthy of the dream. Because greatness isn't given. It's earned, and ours no one sees.
At the end of every day, you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, did I get better today? The answer is yes, and you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. How much better are you going to be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the question, right? And it's just taking small steps. You don't try to get it all done in one day, in 1 week, in 1 year. Right? It's the process of being better every day and doing that for a period of years.
Brother, I'm convinced that every man has a moment in his life where quitting would feel a lot like peace. But, in reality, just the devil trying to convince you you're not worth your purpose. Don't stop.
The only way to live is know you're going to die. If you're afraid to die, you'll never be able to live.
The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Go for the discipline because it weighs ounces. The regret weighs tons because it can accumulate.
Out of how you've been showing up lately. There's a lot on your plate, no doubt. And it might feel like you're falling behind, but you're not. You're overcoming stressful situations. You're fighting for your mental health. You're doing your best. The only thing you're falling behind on is giving yourself the credit you deserve. Because at any given moment, you're doing way better than your inner critic would like to admit.
You have a plan and you have a process. When opposition, adversity, challenges, uncertainty pops up, the problem doesn't look as big. The adversity doesn't look as big. The challenges don't look as big when you got a plan and a process in place. Now, when you don't got a plan and a process in place, adversity and opposition shows up, uncertainty shows up, problems look real big. Adversity looks real big. You forget about the sacrifice. You forget about the long hours. You forget about the vision. You forget about the mission because you don't have a plan or process. Right? The process makes you stick to whatever it is that you're doing.
How bad do you want it? We all know when we're relaxed exactly the person we want to become. The question is, do we believe we can become it? Without that belief, every journey will run into a debate. That debate is when pain starts to fill the body. You weighed a temporary pain versus a lifetime of pride.
Champions find a way to make it happen. No matter how long it takes, they find a way. Champions find a way to get through their nerves. So don't be ashamed to say you're nervous, but find a way to get over it.
Passion and a drive has to be followed by an action. That's the hardest part. People don't want to have that action. Dreams want to live just like everybody else. And if you don't bring them to life, somebody else will. And you're going to be sitting there back thinking, man, I could have, I should have, I would have. Boy, you had your chance. You got to deliver. You got to have action. You got to deliver.
Ever tried? Ever failed? No matter. Try again. Fail again. Fail better. The world is yours.
You could either do the work today to become your highest version tomorrow, or tomorrow you can feel a lifelong of regret. That's a given. The people who know that they were meant for more and didn't go for more end up with a lifelong state of regret. And the reason for that is because they didn't want to hurt the people around them, didn't want to hurt family members, but instead they gave in to the life of average just so they can blend in and not stand out. And years later, they regret not doing the things that they could have done to become a winner.
We often don't realize we're in control. We're in control of our own lives, and we can make different choices. And if the things in our life are not bringing us joy and happiness, if our career that we've devoted all of our lives to isn't bringing us joy, we can change them. If we decide our relationship is not the right relationship, we don't have to suffer in that relationship.
Stay in your comfort zone. That's where you will fail.
To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did.
You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful.
Ask yourself, what do you really want? What do you really want? I mean, down inside, if you could have anything you want, what do you really want? Let your mind take off. You're a creative being. There's nothing on the planet that's like you.
Give me evidence that you're not qualified to go get that. Give me evidence that you're not qualified for a great life. And you have none. You are ultra qualified. No one can tell us what we're capable of except us. And when we believe these truths,
Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men. Find it easier to live in a world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare.
So I know why you go on Instagram. I know why because you just have the time. You have the time because you don't want to put that time into bettering oneself.
You start going after your goals and you start achieving them, people will start looking at you differently, and secretly they will start hoping that you fail because it will make them feel better about the action they have never taken.
Progression is an ugly road that leads to a beautiful place. And the sad thing about that quote that's true is most people never get to that beautiful place because they never persevere. They give up before it's their time. They quit before they see their breakthrough. That's why I love a breaking point, because at a breaking point, that fork in the road, you got a choice. You can break down or you can break through. And when you choose to break through, those adversities strengthen you. All those things that have come against you, it strengthens you. That's why you gotta find a meaning, a mission that carries you through this stage of resistance.
Get started and stay consistent. You have things to share with the world that only you can deliver. But you'll never experience them if all you replay in your mind are doubts and excuses on why going after your dreams now isn't a good time. You have what it takes. Get out of your own way. Don't count yourself out yet. Everything you want to achieve is possible. It might take time, effort, and discipline, but it's all within reach.
So if you're in the woods and you don't know where to go, start walking. You've got to start walking because the perspective's not going to change. You have to start moving forward. You have to start taking steps in order to improve your vision, improve your perspective, change your perspective, make some kind of progress. And worst case scenario, you figure out that you walked the wrong direction. Okay, now you can go walk in the other direction. And that's gonna be fine. But standing there lost and not doing anything is just waiting to die, waiting to starve to death.
The only thing in life that stands between you, everything you've ever wanted to do, is doing it. Not preparing to do it, not scheduling time to do it, not telling people you're gonna do it, not reading books about how to do it, not watching videos about how to do it, but instead actually doing it.
There's a saying, this quote that I really believe in, that when the pain of the current reality becomes greater than the fear of change, that's when we change. So like when the pain becomes so intense that it's greater than the fear that you have of the unknown, then you'll go into the unknown. You can stand there at the door looking at this abyss, but when it becomes so painful that you walk into that, that's when the change happens.
But there's a hell of a lot more to you than you think, like way more. Enough to cope with the trouble of the world inside you. There's enough to cope with the trouble of the world. And if you had enough courage, you could let that out. Enough courage and faith, you could let that out, and everything would be better because of it.
Only fail because they get caught up into what winning was. You're supposed to fail at some point in time. You're supposed to get knocked down a couple times. You're supposed to lose. That's how you learn. Perfection is only a word because imperfection was discovered. You can't be perfect without knowing what imperfect is. You have to experience imperfection at some point to go, now I'm perfect.
Feel something is shifting. Some people are not strong enough to adapt to the change. Some people don't know how to put it into practice in order to go with the change. There will come the time, and it's not going to take long, where a natural separation is going to take place. A natural separation. The ones that are able to read the signs, that are able to go with what is happening, to adapt to the changes this world is bringing to us, they will move on to another world. Other people that are unwilling, unable, maybe incapable of adapting to the coming changes, it is simple like this: they will stay with the old world, which is about to end.
An eagle flies at a certain altitude
And the only other bird flies at that altitude is another eagle. So if he finds himself flocking with pigeons, he may be flying too low.
One of the things limiting you from your income, your impact, a world-class life, you care too much about what people think about you. You can be world-class, you can fit in with the world, you don't get to do both. One thing I've learned is everyone has an opinion. Why let the opinions of other people deny you from a life that will make history?
This is my question to you. When you gonna free yourself, how long are you gonna stay in this pain expecting change to happen in your life? How long are you gonna stay in this situation expecting things to change in your life? You've been here for the last year, the last 5 years, the last decade, staying in the same mess, accepting the same mess, and wondering why you're stressed, wondering why you're not happy, wondering why you're not fulfilled, wondering why you're not experiencing the life that you deserve to experience. When you gonna free yourself from the pain? When you gonna free yourself from settling for less? Because I want to tell you right now, you don't have to accept it. I know you know that, but I need you to feel that, understand that. You don't got to accept it. You don't have to stay where you're just tolerated and not celebrated. You don't have to stay where you're not happy. You don't have to stay where you're not being better. You don't have to stay where you're suffering. You can free yourself from it.
It's our darkness that brings us closer to one another. It's all the shared broken pieces of our souls. Don't be ashamed of your darkness. All the mistakes that you've made have made you. Redemption is always on the other side of a moment. Every passing moment is another chance to turn it all around. Keep fighting. Don't go gently into that good night. For as long as you are here, hope dies last.
Someone who does not acknowledge the dark side of themselves and who is only good because that's all that they know how to be and that's all that they know of themselves is not really a good person because they're only doing what they know. Versus someone who's delved into the darkness of humanity, the pain of it, the despair of it, and then chooses to be good and chooses to do something. That's the true good person, right? That's the person we're all aspiring to be. Not someone who's ignored the pain, but someone who has chosen to do something with the pain.
You have to learn to select your thoughts the same way that you select your clothes every day. Now that's a power that you can cultivate, because if you can't master your thoughts, you're in trouble forever.
The gods envy us. They envy us because we're mortal. Because any moment might be our last. Everything's more beautiful because we're doomed. You will never be lovelier than you are now. We will never be here again.
The Persian poet Rumi once wrote, "What hurts you blesses you. Darkness is your candle. Everything in life is trying to teach you something. You just have to pay attention."
You've got to be ready to change your life. No one said this was going to be easy. You have to keep on keeping on. You think life was meant for the weak? It wasn't. It never was. I'm telling you, just keep on going.
And then climbed back out. That's why we have hero stories, right? There's always the hero who has to go through down into hell and then climb back up. And that's what we admire. That's what we respect. That's what we give dignity to. So if we're not respecting that in ourselves, in our own innate ability to go dark and then climb back out, we're not dignifying ourselves.
You've got to be ready to change your life. No one said this was going to be easy. You have to keep on keeping on.
So get back up. Make the most of this life you have. You're here. You're here now. The time is always now.
Nothing in this life lasts, even our troubles. Keep going, my friend. Just keep going.
In the end, it's all going to be all right. And if it's not, then it's not the end. Please, just keep going.
And really ask yourself that question. What is it essentially that you are looking for living this life? Regardless of how old you are right now, how much of where you want to go did you achieve already? And also, are you actually still finding yourself on the way to wherever you wanted to go? So first of all, before we even know which future direction you would like to go towards, number one is we need to know where are we actually standing right now.
Another way of finding happiness internally, of finding everything that you need inside of you rather than outside from other people or just outside in the world, externals, is to also find responsibility there. So your responsibility is not to anyone or anything outside of you, but inside of you. Because we often have this idea, like animals do, or like children sometimes do, that if no one saw it, it's fine. If we didn't get caught, it's okay. The judge inside of us, constantly watching, because it's us, it's within us.
Adversity is the worst, right? Experiencing fortune's habit, as Seneca put it, of behaving however she pleases is brutal, right? Exiles, illnesses, financial setbacks, shipwrecks, floods, and famines, these types of reverses are bad, right? They don't have to be. Let's also say that change is neither good nor bad, it simply is. It can be greeted with terror or joy, a tantrum that says, I want it the way it was, or a dance that says, look, something new. But the Stoics knew that it was more than just a game of perception. It's what you do about it. It's how you respond. You choose to see the events of life, neither good nor bad, just objective, just reality. Yes, that's part one. But part two is the most important. It's the making them good. It's seeing it not just as new, but as a new opportunity and then making good on it. As Stockdale said, making it something that in retrospect, you never have traded away.
Someone said we have two primary choices in life. We can either accept conditions as they exist, or we can take the responsibility to change them. See, a lot of people want to exempt themselves from taking responsibility. All they want to do is talk about the problem. Every time you see them, they'll tell you their story over and over and over and over again. No. You want to take responsibility for your life. I got me here, I can get me out of this. And I'm getting out. I'm not going to be a volunteer victim.
So your laziness is something that has to do with you. You're not connected to something deep enough. You don't feel the necessity. You don't feel the devil at your heels. You don't feel the fact that you could very well die tomorrow that will impel you to get something done. There's no necessity behind it. And the human animal, the way we were created, is when we feel pressure, we feel the necessity to get things done. We can move mountains. But when that pressure, almost like a barometric pressure, releases and we don't feel the need to get something done, we could become incredibly lazy because there's no necessity. So you have to create necessity in your life. You have to create the need to get things done. You have to give yourself deadlines. You have to remind yourself that tomorrow everything could go kaboom. You could be fired, you could die, you could have an illness. Give yourselves a sense of urgency that I need to get things done.
You think everybody else is going to die, not you. You kind of consciously know, but you live like you got time. I'll get around to being happy. I'll get around to making it happen. I'll get around. Once things are in place, then I'm really going to dial it in. You don't think you're going to die. Begin with the end in mind.
That's true in life. Who do you want to be in the end? What do you want to see? Where do you want to go? What do you want to felt? Who do you want to help? What do you want to achieve? What legacy do you want to live, if any? And you're going to worry about what people think? You're going to worry about the things you're scared of? This is your life. You're going to start to get after it.
I want to ask you a question. What are your fears? What are you scared of? Something that's blocking us, that's holding us back. Some people call fear false evidence appearing real. You acknowledge it, you take it into account, and you carry yourself accordingly. There are times that we should proceed with caution, but it's the difference between being stopped by fear. It's the difference between having a fear and the fear having you.
You will never feel ready to do things that scare you. You will never feel ready to take that leap. This is where the 5-second rule comes in super handy. So if you are constantly procrastinating, you probably have a bias towards thinking, and you can use the 5-second rule to literally push yourself to take action. All you're gonna do is count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Counting backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, requires you to focus. This is a starting ritual that interrupts the patterns of overthinking, of fear, of anxiety, of procrastination. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. And here's the real secret to this. The second you started counting, you actually made a decision to change.
Listen, everything we think comes into existence. So only think things that you want to come into existence. How you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you.
The truth is, you'll never have it all figured out, and that's okay. The only thing that matters is that you start. Even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect, the only way to make progress is to take that first step, even if you don't know where the second one will lead. Perfection is about control, about seeking something that is impossible to hold on to. But progress is about moving forward. It's about learning, growing, stumbling, and getting back up. Progress is messy, raw, imperfect, and beautiful all at once. It's about taking action, even when you're unsure. The people who achieve great things are not the ones who waited until everything was flawless. They're the ones who were willing to move forward even when they weren't ready. They acted, they made mistakes, they learned from them, and each small step, each decision, each action, however imperfect, added up over time. They didn't worry about getting everything perfect. They just focused on getting better. And that's the key. Progress isn't about reaching perfection. It's about becoming better than you were yesterday. Every day is an opportunity to grow, to evolve, to take one more step forward, even when it feels like progress is slow. Because the small, consistent efforts you make today are what build the foundation for tomorrow's success. There's freedom in progress. It's about giving yourself permission to grow without needing to have everything perfect. It's about embracing the discomfort of starting before you're ready, of taking that first step, even if you don't have the whole plan figured out. You don't need the perfect blueprint. You just need the courage to move forward. Perfection keeps you stuck in a dream world, one where everything is idealized and nothing real can ever happen. It's a world of waiting for the right conditions, the right opportunity, the right timing. But progress forces you to deal with reality. It forces you to confront where you are, accept that you're not perfect, and keep moving anyway. Life isn't about creating a perfect image of yourself. It's about growing into the best version of who you already are. And that growth doesn't come from waiting. It comes from doing. It comes from learning through doing, through failing, through adjusting, and through keeping your focus on progress, not perfection. In the end, it's not about being perfect. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Each day, you get one step closer to the person you're becoming, not because everything aligns perfectly, but because you keep moving forward despite the imperfections. The road will never be perfect. The plan will never be flawless. The conditions will never be ideal. But the magic happens when you start anyway. The moment you stop waiting for the perfect time, it is the moment you begin to create your own opportunities. So stop waiting. Stop trying to make it all perfect. Start moving, start doing, start learning. Let go of the idea that everything needs to be flawless, and instead, embrace the mess, the progress, the beautiful, imperfect journey. Because progress, not perfection, is what gets you where you want to go. Every step, every effort, every imperfect action you take brings you closer to the version of yourself that you've always dreamed of becoming. Perfection is an illusion. Progress is reality. So focus on moving forward, no matter how small the steps. Because the person you want to be is out there waiting for you. Just on the other side of every imperfect action you take today.
And all of us have this conflict going on at all times inside of us. And it's between two forces. And the first force is your survival instinct that's been with us for thousands, if not tens of thousands of years. Once this inject into you fear and doubt and worry and anxiety, it wants you to fight or flight. And that's kind of your voice of fear and your inner critic. And that's really loud. That voice is in your mind all the time. And then there's another voice, the second voice. And that voice has been written about and talked about by philosophers for thousands of years. And that voice has been called many names. It's been called your intuition. That voice is a little quieter. And that voice isn't in your head. A lot of times it shows up in your body. It shows up in your heart, gut, your chest. You feel that. And unfortunately, that first voice really drowns us out a lot of times. And the thing is that the voice of fear will lead you to a life that's too small. And you know this. You already know this. And the way that you know this is you feel this. You feel this conflict, this dissonance and tension when you're in that position, when you're doing something that's too small. If you want to reach full power in this one life of yours, it's in the second voice. It's in the voice that's the real you.
So if your false identity says that you're a loser, you're a deadbeat, you're not deserving, you're a failure, you're not worthy, you will find evidence in the world to reinforce that. If your identity then says, I'm a winner, I'm deserving, deserve happiness, abundance, joy, success, now I will always find evidence in the world to find that. It starts off with rewriting your story. Be specific about how you want your life to look in the categories that matter. Write down specifically what you want your life to look. And then once you write that down, go, what are the habits that this month needs to have in order to bring that story to life? When you bring that story to life, the false identity sheds and the new identity.
It's a long grind, and it's totally worth it because it's not about where you get, it's about who you become in the process of getting there. Is you're never going to meet the man or woman you could have been had you pursued it. But what is even way better than you think it will be is who you become in the process of getting there and being proud of you. And I can tell you, the things you'd be most proud of is the fact that you lasted, is the fact that you got up after you quit, is the fact that you go, you know what, I did quit, but I'm getting back. I'm getting back up. I lasted.
It's all so easy to get caught up in this illusion of perfection. That if you just get everything right, just line up all the pieces, then success and happiness will follow. But here's the truth. Perfection doesn't exist. It's an illusion, a moving target that you'll never quite hit. And the more you chase it, the more you waste time trying to get everything just right, the further you'll drift from your real goal. Because perfection isn't the goal, progress is. We are conditioned to think that we need to have everything aligned before we can move forward. We wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect circumstances. But while we're waiting, life is passing us by. The version of you who has the life you dream of isn't the one waiting for things to be perfect. It's the one moving forward, no matter how imperfect the journey looked. The problem with perfection is that it paralyzes you. It keeps you stuck in the planning phase, in the research phase, in the thinking phase, forever refining, forever adjusting, never doing. You wait for the moment when everything aligns, but by the time it does, you've lost so much time that it hardly matters. If you're constantly waiting for things to be perfect, you're wasting your life away. You're stuck in a cycle of waiting and doubting. You tell yourself, I'll start once I have this figured out, but that day never comes.
The only way to handle danger is to face it. If you start getting frightened of it, then you make it worse, because you project onto it all kinds of bogies and threats which don't exist in it at all. The rule for all terrors is head straight into them. When you are sailing in a storm, you don't let a wave hit your boat on the side. You go bow into the wave and ride it. So in the same way, old folklore says, this is an old wives' tale with a lot of truth in it, whenever you meet a ghost, don't run away. Because the ghost will capture the substance of your fear and materialize itself out of your own substance.
You've made a commitment to pursuing a better life for yourself, to pursuing your dreams and ambitions. And unfortunately, just so happens that when you do that, things can get pretty lonely. It gets really difficult sometimes because now you have to face adversity and challenges and by yourself. You are exactly where you need to be. Far too many people abandon their path. And it's because they forget their why they chose this journey in the first place.
There's two paths in life. This is the path I chose a long time ago. It's the lonely road. You're gonna feel alone all the time. You can have a team around you, can have mentors. Trust me, you'll feel alone. You're gonna wake up earlier than everybody else. You're gonna go to bed later. Most everybody else will do this. The crowded road. It's well lit, there's navigational equipment, there's directions, really good roads. The lonely road, no navigational equipment most of the time. It's dark, it's not well lit. There's a huge ups and downs, massive turns. Roadkill along the side of other people who quit on their dreams. Or you can go back to where all these guys are.
Man, if I want to be good, I gotta wake up in the morning, I gotta do the extra work. And I gotta show up when other guys aren't. And I've gotta learn, I've gotta continue to be open to learning.
Don't allow your emotions to control you. We are emotional, but you want to begin to discipline your emotion. If you don't discipline and contain your emotions, they will use you. Your mind goes on automatic, just like a god. You know, I loved reading the book called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. He uses the analogy of the mind being like a garden. You know, weeds don't have to have any encouragement to grow. But if you want to grow orchids or roses or any kind of exotic flowers, there are special processes and procedures you must go through. Well, by the same token, you don't have to force yourself or motivate yourself to think negatively, to be depressed, to hate somebody, to want revenge, to want to get back at somebody, to beat yourself up over the head, to feel loaded with guilt. You don't have to make any effort to do that. Your mind is on automatic. It will do that by itself. But if you want to begin to move into your own personal greatness, if you want to begin to really enjoy a happy, successful, healthy life, you've got to be willing to go against the tide. You've got to be willing to harness your will and say, in spite of this, I'm in control here. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back. And I'll be stronger and better because of it. You have got to make a declaration. This is what you stand for. You're standing up for your dreams. You're standing up for peace of mind. You're standing up for health. You want it. And you're going to go all out to have it.
It's not on everybody else. It's on you. You have to make things happen. Nothing is going to be given to you.
Everything is to be found within, including this. And yeah, sometimes it's very difficult to even admit to oneself of having done wrong. And this doesn't mean that if you've done wrong and you did look over your shoulder and you saw that no one saw you and you just moved on without taking responsibility, that you're now have to act like that forever. Philosophy is also, and that judge within you is also very forgiving. As harsh as that judge is, the judge does allow you to come back time and time again and to try again to be better, because in the long run, that's all that matters. That we become better as best as we can become, not to this or that standard, but truly, honestly, the best that we could possibly be.
Believe in your vision like it's already done. Let that belief be so deep that no setback, no rejection, no external noise can change it. You already know what you're capable of. Now it's about showing up every day and proving it. It won't always make sense to others. That's fine. Your path isn't about their approval. It's about your transformation. Trust that if you refuse to quit, life will eventually hand you the reward that's meant for you. Stay relentless. Stay locked in. You already have everything you need to win.
You have to make things happen. You have to do it yourself. No one's going to give it to you.
When you look back on it, you'll find that your whole life is a series of remarkable coincidences that initially look like difficulties or setbacks, but in retrospect, they contain within them valuable lessons that you needed to learn in order to achieve the goals that you've achieved.